sitting on our hands, getting ready, waiting, and the driver's wondering, would the track ever be dry? It is, and the field is under the lights here in Iowa.
Side by side into turn one. Will Power goes around the high side. Already 3 wide. Look at that car on the outside. Is that... I think that was Santino that swept around the outside, so he went super high. Track is clean up there. He's still on the high side.
Look at Sato. Takuma Sato around the outside of the bright yellow Menard Chevrolet of Simon Pagenaud. Sato is on it into second.
Sato being super aggressive early in this race. Already up to P2. Simon Pagenaud started on the pole. Already has dirty air back to third as his teammate Joseph Newgarden looks around the outside of him.
Oh, he came up in front of him, did a slide job there up in front of him, and Newgarden had to check up. He had a little run on the high side, and now he takes the air away on the bottom. But Santino there, still up on the high groove. There's Hunter Ray up on the high groove.
Colton Herter is on the inside of the DHL Honda. So he's got that inside run on Ryan Hunter-Reay. We go aboard the Auto Nation on board there. And this shows you how they can run side by side. Multi-lane racing.
You can hear how much they're in the throttle. Yesterday we didn't hear that. The cars were sliding around. Right now, a lot of grip. Colton Herter is able to run the low line. Clear Ryan Hunter-Reay. Get inside that top 10.
Here comes Connor Daly. Marco Andretti, who was all the way in the back, is moving forward.
Zach Beach has made up 3 positions from his starting spot of 20th. So positive start.
Okay, one back.
A lot of side-by-side action, guys on the bottom, guys on the top, guys in the middle. So guys working 3 grooves. Teammates right here with Sage Karam and Connor Daly. Now Simon Pagenaud is working his way back. Where has Newgarden gone? He was right behind Simon, and he's disappeared out of the back. Has his handling already gone away? Look at that gap already.
About a 1.5 seconds, Paul. He is in arrears of his teammate Simon Pagenaud, and it's Will Power with more than a second advantage over Takuma Sato, who was spectacular. Let's relive that start for the driver of the MyJack Honda. Have a look at this.
See here, starting fourth, it's really just all about how much courage do you have to run the outside. As Will Power clears off of turn 2, it gives Takuma Sato some clean air down the back straightaway. And going into 3 here, it's just about being aggressive. He gets the outside, gets the throttle down, and clears Simon Pagenaud off of turn 4.
And how about Santino Ferrucci?
With Santino, he has passed more cars than anybody so far this year, and he's racking up more cars on that,
3 wide
list. Look at that high side move. I love it, man.
Clear.
He said yesterday, what was it like to be out there when it's hot and slick? He said, I don't know, I'm 20 years old. It doesn't matter. I don't know what I'm supposed to expect, though. He got in the throttle, went from 12th to 6th on that start.
James Hinchcliffe's been able to steal a spot back, so Ferrucci has made up 5 from the start. So too has Ed Carpenter in the Auto Geek Chevrolet. Here is Ed. And he is running
his
in
car.
12th.
His car was a rocket last night in practice when it was super hot, looking like he's got it right again tonight. But the guy who doesn't have it right so far is Bourdais. He hasn't even made up a position, and he's looking at getting lapped here pretty soon.
Frustrating start for Tony Kanaan too, Paul, because he's dropped 7, now 8 positions from his starting spot. And Kanaan is down to 21st.
See Bourdais there, able to get around Marco Andretti, but these cars, as you said, Paul, they're already 15 seconds behind the leader on an 18-second lap. Will Power is coming quick to lap these guys.
He's right there. He's the 4th car in the picture there. So here, Simon has lost a little bit of ground, but look at, here Sato is now backed up to Newgarden as Newgarden gets by, but Power now is in traffic on the tail end of the field.
Oh, and Sage Karam. Sage Karam in the Smart Stop Chevrolet for Carlin.
Doesn't look like any damage, and he's still got it
okay?
running.
Try to get it going if you can here.
I don't think he hit anything. I think he just looped it.
It's got a little bit of damage on the left end fence there that's gone on the front wing.
He had contact with somebody because that's the inside. So we'll get a look at that for you guys. But I think he might have had contact with somebody and just looped it.
Looks like rubber actually, or a tire mark on the nose cone there.
This will tell us more. He's all by himself, or is he? It's Felix Rosenquist that runs across the front wing there.
Lucky break there for Felix. So he just lost it on power coming off of 4. Real lucky break there for Felix that he didn't have more damage than that. But not much damage to Sage's car. He'll change that nose and get it back going.
Let's go back to racing. Green flags here in Iowa.
It's going to be really interesting to see the guys that took tires, Hunter Ray back, if they're able to come through the field. But a good restart for Power as Newgarden is under pressure from his teammate.
Great move, Newgarden on the inside of Simon Pagenaud.
Joseph Newgarden seemed like at the start of the race just being a little cautious, feeling things out for the first few laps. But since then, he drove by Sato for third, aggressive on that restart, goes by his teammate Simon Pagenaud for second, going to chase down his teammate Will Power for the lead.
Rossi's still on that bottom line. He has been stuck to that bottom line all weekend. I have not yet seen him run up the track in the middle groove or the high groove.
James Hinchcliffe there in the black and gold. Arrow Schmidt Peterson Honda fending off a fellow Honda driver. It's this man, Super Santino Ferrucci.
Santino making a high move here. He's got the momentum right there if he can get back to the throttle.
Lee, we spoke to Santino earlier this morning talking about how he liked this place. First time here, he says, I love it. Car slides around, you got to really get up on the wheel and just get after it, and he's having a great race so far, running 7th.
Scott Dixon and Carpenter.
Carpenter's having a good race. He's coming through the field like he's on fire, so he just went by Dixon like he was standing still.
Whoa.
And changed lines mid-corner as well. So
that shows how good his car is right there to have Scott Dixon dive across his nose. You saw the car just wiggle a little bit, but Ed was able to go to the second lane, keep the momentum up, and eventually get around Scott Dixon. He started 17th. He's already inside the top 10, running 9th. We see Colton Herta here going around Scott Dixon to get inside the top 10. It seems like Scott Dixon just doesn't have the handle on his race car so far.
Not yet, but don't ever count Scott Dixon out. He will be a factor at some point. It's usually at the end of the night. We've seen him struggle before and then get his car right. It's a long race. We got 300 laps.
As we welcome you back to Iowa Speedway, there is a second full course caution, and we have just been notified that it is for some sprinkles of rain. And while before the yellow flew, Will Power, who led 46 laps, relinquished the lead to his teammate Joseph Newgarden, very similar to last year, a little bit later than last year, on board with James Hinchcliffe. And Santino Ferrucci has been a young man on a big power move in this race. These two guys have been going at it lap after lap. How close do you like it? It doesn't get much closer than that.
Looked like a little bit of side draft in there, AJ, like they do in NASCAR, and there you see the rain, which is not good. It's a little bit heavier than I was hoping it was going to be, and we hope it stops immediately.
Saw some great battling before the caution came out for these raindrops. Seemed like almost a carbon copy of last year. Will Power leading the race, got to lap traffic, and once he got there, he stalled out, could make his way around the lap traffic, and once that happened, Joseph Newgarden was able to run him down, get his car in a better position, find a better lane, finally clear Will Power and get to the lead.
Can we understand the race is being red flagged right now? Getting ready to go back to green. Lap 65.
Hanging back a little bit there, Will Power, trying to get a nice jump here. Like
Green.
Okay.
Just backed it up a little bit there.
So after almost half an hour under red, we're back to racing. And look at this, as a move down there. Sato goes around Alexander Rossi.
Will tried for the high side on that. He's still trying for the high side, but Joseph Newgarden is really strong on the entry to the corner.
We saw Sato go around Alexander Rossi. Oh, Ferrucci and James Hinchcliffe renewing their battle before that red flag came out. Ferrucci had said in the interview with Robin Miller, I'm not going to let these guys that are experienced push me around, and he's shown that running that top groove already back up to 6th.
They may have banged wheels side to side.
Ferrucci loves that top groove. He's making moves. Now he's going to make a move on Rossi on the high side. I haven't seen Rossi get up on the high side all weekend, but these two right here almost touch wheels, very close. Last time James apologized, I don't think he's apologizing, but look at this.
Ferrucci on Alexander Rossi.
He goes by the hardest guy to pass on an oval that there is.
Ferrucci running that second groove, high, wide, and handsome. Up top there, just showing a ton of speed, a ton of courage for a rookie that's never been here before.
I'm telling you what, if Rossi's going to go anywhere today, he's got to start trying that upper groove once he gets clear air. But now he comes back on Santino, side by side. Who's going to lift first? They both lift at about the same time, but who's going to get back to the power first?
What a run from Santino. Ferrucci's up 7 from his original starting spot and is mixing it with the big boys.
Get too carried away and make a mistake, Santino. You're a rookie. You're the highest rookie in the field right now, and that is good for your rookie points.
And Simon's been dealing with understeer a bit throughout the race, and it's really gotten bad. He's a no front grip. I think we're getting to the point late in a tire run where everybody's begging to come in for fresh Firestones, but they need to hang on as long as they possibly can.
Sato right there just came out of the pits on brand new tires. He went by Rossi like he was standing still. Now watch this. He's going to come by Pagano, so that's what fresh tires will do for you right here.
Sato had just went backwards since the restart.
Problem is he's 3 laps down right now because he pitted under green, so he's got to wait till everybody else pits and gets back in sequence. But you can see by the speed of his car right now that the tires are king.
Talk about PT, we just talked about how much tires make a difference. Takuma Sato was 14th or 13th or 14th when he started that pit cycle. He pitted 20 to 25 laps earlier, able to get out there and run fast laps. He's back up to 2nd place because of that. But now his tires are old, he's gonna fight that same cycle again, but it just shows how new tires, if you pit laps earlier than everybody, you can make up a ton of time, but it's a game of chicken. Because if the yellow flag comes out, you're those laps down.
Right before Rossi pitted at a big moment. Oh my God, that's totally crossed hands right there. But back to Sato, he was running laps that were 12 miles an hour faster than the leaders, and he has moved himself all the way up through that field. So that shows you how strong the tires are. As Santino right here, still on the high side, trying to stay on the lead lap. Oh,
Pagano.
I think Pagano might have brushed the wall.
What has happened to the pole sitter and championship contender? Was it a brush or was it just a nervous high ride?
He's loose. Look at that car. It's wobbling back and forth. I wonder if he brushed the wall and bent a toe link.
See right here, get some dirty air entering turn 1. He's a little bit wider than he wants to be behind Marco Andretti. Once he gets off that second group, PT,
great save.
That was a good save.
Gets in that dirty air, but makes a great save.
Got the tires dirty, and now it looks like he's got them cleaned up again, and he's back going again. But that shows you the turbulent air. Once you get too close to a car, you can't even get the car to turn.
He looks loose. He's struggling right now.
Field is under caution here in Iowa. Not for weather this time. It was for an on-track incident involving Takuma Sato. You saw it in non-stop. Sage Karam coming from the back.
Yeah,
Sato checked up.
Yeah, I don't know why Sato was going so slow off the corner there, because he's got fresh tires.
No, you watch the replay there, Paul. He's behind Will Powers. He's got new tires. He's got such a run. Will slides up. Takuma gets in the gray, has to check up to not get in the wall, and because of that, loses so much momentum. At that point, Sage Karam drives straight through the back of him.
And Takuma had just pitted. Look at that. He's way up, way up.
Yeah, he was just being on fresh tires, trying to make up all that time. He was behind Will Power, and Will slid up, and when he did that, Takuma had to check up, get in the gray. And
yeah, the problem is Sage was also in the dirty air of Sato, and probably couldn't turn the car down because the front end was just pushing, and didn't get on the brakes soon enough. And luckily, it didn't create more damage.
Ready to go racing? You bet. Let's do it here in Iowa. Final 100 laps coming up. And Piggott and Pagenaud wheel to wheel through turns 1 and 2.
Nice restart by Pagenaud. He clears Piggott going into turn 1. Hinchcliffe, oh, look at this gaggle of cars. Look at Santino on the outside again. He passed like 6 cars in one corner. He fell back to 13th, but now as he crosses the line, we'll see where he ends up, all the way back up into 10th.
That's a wild little bunch that was, but everybody kept it clean. Teammates together on track. The red car is Ed Carpenter, the black one is Spencer Piggott. The 2 ECR Chevys have been fantastic here tonight. And now Hinchcliffe wants a shot at them.
Yeah, Hinchtown looking pretty good here on the bottom. Strong apex speed through the middle of the corner. That was great rolling speed, AJ.
Yeah, Ed got in the corner there, just got a little bit loose, had to check up. James Hinchcliffe was able to clear him. Alexander Rossi, that caution was fortunate for him. He had just went a lap down, gets back on the lead lap, up to 7th.
Tell
we see Ferrucci and Beach going at it now.
Ferrucci trying to move back through the pits. Somehow he fell further back. Now he's back up to 9th, working on 8th right there. But if Rossi's going to do anything tonight, he's got to get his car up off the bottom groove, because it's not the fast way around. You got to make passes on the high side and on the bottom.
Zach Veach in the yellow, black and blue Gainbridge Honda on the inside of Takuma Sato. Check this out. Watch for the white car up high. Santino Ferrucci, who just rounds this group up.
Well, Marco up there just hanging on to his race car really slow. Gets this whole group of cars checked up. Ferrucci says, hey, watch this. I'm going to run the outside, 4 wide, clear, inside the top 10.
He's passed more cars than anybody this year on track, and he just racked up a whole pile more.
When you got a group of cars, PT, what do? You go where they're not. Oh my goodness, around the outside.
I bet Dale Jr. likes that if he's still awake.
58 laps left to run here at Iowa Speedway in the Iowa 300, where Joseph Newgarden is now starting to put on a bit of a clinic. This is an amazing run. In just a matter of moments, he will have led 200 laps of this race. What a performance from the championship leader, who turned frustration into positivity. He so desperately wanted the pole position yesterday. His teammate Simon Pagenaud got that, and the usually smiley, bubbly Joseph Newgarden was pretty stony-faced. However, let's put some reality into this. This is how good a run he's having, and how frustrating a run Scott Dixon's having. He's about to put Scott Dixon down a lap.
Yeah, the 3 Penske cars this weekend right off the truck have kind of been in a league of their own all weekend, and frankly, the Chevys have been pretty strong all weekend because both of the Ed Carpenter cars are running really well. They've had a power upgrade that came along in Toronto, and they seem to have found a lot of performance here in the last couple weeks.
See Joseph Newgarden there, able to go around the outside of Scott Dixon, and that's where Joseph is so strong right now. He's able to maneuver his car where the traffic is not. If the car goes low, he goes high, vice versa. So he's able to work his way through traffic, and that's where he's just been stretching the gap out on Will Powers, working his way through traffic.
Whoa.
Tight fit there on the exit against Tony Kanaan, but able to clear him and put another car in between himself and his teammate.
And the big story, big picture-wise, with Newgarden in this championship, came in with a 4-point advantage over Alexander Rossi. Points as they run now, it would blow out to a 31-point advantage heading to Mid-Ohio next weekend.
Oh, we see Will Power coming in. I was just going to say,
Whoa.
oh, that was
way late out on the
tight.
outside, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. He had to over-slow Dylan getting into the pit lane.
They need a smooth, flawless stop here to make up for that time. Looking to see if they make any changes. Looks like maybe a turn or so, a front wing, but a smooth stop otherwise for Will Power. Kevin? Here comes the leader making the final stop of the race. It's been a dominant weekend for Team Penske. A little weave as he comes in to hit his marks. The Hitachi Team Penske team going to work. A little bit slow on the left front. Still done in plenty of time with the fuel. And that's a nice, solid, excellent final stop for Newgarden. We'll watch Pagenaud coming through.
We'll see where Power cycles out after that mistake coming into the pit lane. I think that will have allowed Pagenaud to close up on him, and there it is. He's lost the position to Pagenaud. So just these little mistakes, these unforced errors that you don't need to make. He had a 5-second gap on his teammate, and he tried to hustle it quicker than he needed to, getting into the pits, and he ran wide and had to like basically overslow it before he was going to hit the end of the pit wall. So you just can't make those mistakes.
I was just thinking off the top of my head, did he try and pit off 4 under green?
No, I think he ran it in too hard.
Yeah, he was running the apron trying to make up time.
Here it is, look.
Yeah, gets in, and he's in so deep. And, oh, that is so close to disaster here. But, yeah, just trying to make up time on Joseph Newgarden. That little bit of time gets in too deep. All that excess rubber on the exit right there. He barely saves it, but as PT said, lost time. Simon Pagenaud had pitted a couple laps earlier than Will. Will makes this mistake, and now Simon had gotten around him and is clear of him.
Will Power.
Penalty?
This is a penalty for an improper pit entry.
You just can't keep making these little mistakes. I mean, he'll say it after the race if we get a chance to interview him. You can't make these mistakes.
Okay, go.
And then he almost stalls it leaving there. It looks like, and we got
yellow,
a caution.
And a yellow to
yellow,
add
we're
insult to
yellow.
injury.
Ed Carpenter. The night is over.
Sorry, guys. I got all bottled up and I got dirty air and I just went around.
On what has been a fabulous night up until now for the Ed Carpenter Racing Team duo of Ed himself and Spencer Piggott, the Auto Geek cars. Skid marks tell the story right there.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen now. Tires are so important. I think everybody's going to come in, even though stops have happened. I think you take fresh tires again.
And you know who gets lucky by this? Scott Dixon.
Yeah.
He had stayed out, hadn't pitted, looking for that yellow. Now he gets it, stays on the lead lap, and he's going to pit
And
for new
get fresh tires. Newgarden and Pagenaud, if they stay out on these used tires, Dixon's going to have fresh tires. And if I'm anybody back from Dixon, if you got a chance to beat Penske, you take tires.
If you're Alexander Rossi running 6th, you haven't had the speed all day, you have to come in and pit and take a chance, because that's the only way you're going to make up spots right now.
What happened to Ed Carpenter? Check this out. Right at the back there, here he comes through and loses it.
Yeah, just 4 cars all bottled up there side by side, and he got the dirty air. He had a pretty good hit there on the back of the car, broke the front suspension pretty heavy. But man, oh man, that penalty for Will Power, just driving through the pits is a couple lap penalty, and the yellow on top of it just adds insult to injury.
Coming to green with 27 laps to go. Behind the overall leader, Joseph Newgarden, is the Sealmaster Honda of Sebastian Bourdais in his 200th IndyCar start. Here we go.
Sebastian Bourdais trying to make a move to get his lap back on fresh tires versus old tires. And look at
Hinchcliffe and Pagenaud.
and Page back there side by side.
Dixon on fresh
Look
tires.
at the fresh tires on these guys.
Rossi
finally gets off the bottom lane.
I can't believe it.
Trying to get around all these lap cars with this new tire so he can go up there and race with the leaders.
Should have done that about 100 laps ago. Finally passing guys on the outside like we're used to seeing him do.
Ferrucci ducks to the inside on Connor Daly, rounds up Matthias Laced on board with Ferrucci. He's in pursuit of Alexander Rossi. Dixon's in good shape too. He's up to 4th already. Look at him fly.
The guys on fresh tires are absolutely rocketing through the field. We got a Saturday night shootout on our hands now, boys.
And we didn't see it, but James Hinchcliffe was able to clear Simon Pagenaud and get into 2nd. Does he have anything to repeat last year and go steal a win from Joseph Newgarden?
He's right there. He's now pulling up on the back of Newgarden as Dixon now is closing in on Page. He was a lap down mid-race, and I told you, don't ever count him out.
16th pole and a lap down. Unbelievable
23 to go.
Oh,
problem with Colton Herter.
we might get another yellow.
Something wrong with it.
Could be a motor problem, a little bit of dust coming out of the back or smoke, but right now, here's Newgarden. Has pulled away a little bit now from Hinchcliffe. He's got a 1.8 second lead. Bourdais is there a lap down.
Let's relive Scott Dixon's restart.
We see here he's got a bunch of lap cars in front of him to get going.
Three wide bottom.
Got by Graham Rahal, Ryan Hunter-Reay. Matthias Laced is the next one. So 3 cars in a couple of turns. Alexander Rossi, things were a little more hairy up here. Check this out.
Finally, he went to the top side, and look at all the cars he passed. I've been waiting for that all night.
That was epic. Now
Dixon.
Scott Dixon has got Simon Pagenaud.
Whoa,
Dixon's
almost
got
in the wall there.
He's got 1 foot on the podium here. He's going for second, and maybe a win's not out of the question either.
He's got Hinchcliffe right in front of him now, and he's on the move. He's only 2 seconds back behind Joseph Newgarden. This would be a huge night for Scott Dixon if he was able to snatch this win away from Team Penske.
Pole position.
By the way, race control is reviewing the restart for numerous reasons and numerous drivers. Fancy that.
Good luck on that. But Scott Dixon,
Look at the high line.
Just a horrible night, Paul. He was struggling sideways for half the race. Gets lucky in that yellow, some fresh tires, and look at this, going around the outside of James Hinchcliffe. That's not even a contest. Give second to Scott Dixon.
Now he's got to calm down. He's got to chase down Newgarden. Newgarden has been a master of defense all night. He's really not succumbed to any pressure from anybody.
Close, super close.
And Dixon's really struggling getting by Bourdais. Graham Rahal with the motor right there in front. We know he's off song, and they're having a hard time getting by him.
And that's the thing. Sebastian Bourdais not just going to give up because Graham Rahal is 4th position. That's 8th place. We saw Scott Dixon get loose. James Hinchcliffe gets loose right behind him. So this battle's still going on with 3 to go.
Less than 3 miles on what has been a very elongated night here in Iowa due to severe thunderstorms.
Looked like Penske team was going to run away with a 1-2-3 tonight. Will Power made a mistake getting in the pits. Simon Pagenaud just lost the handle on the car. 2 laps to go.
And that 1-2-3 or potential 1-2-3 has turned into a 1-4-12. Not quite what the captain was looking for. But boy, talk about turning frustration into glory and satisfaction. Less than a mile to go for Joseph Newgarden. He has led 244 laps tonight in what has been a superb driving performance from the championship leader. He's already got 3 wins this year. He kicked it off at the season opener. He won in Detroit, he won in Texas, and he wins here in Iowa. The championship leader extends his points advantage. Scott Dixon grabs second, James Hinchcliffe third, but it's all about Joseph Newgarden.
Really nice work. Hey, man. Great job in the pits. Great job throwing.
Some donuts for these great fans that have stuck this weather out to give them something to watch.
Good for that motor for next week.
Well, no.
This is, by the way, the 3rd time he's led over 200 laps here at Iowa. This was worth, what, about the process that began about 8 hours ago? Worth the wait.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a little dizzy, actually. This place, it can take it out of you. But, yeah, this is great to be back here in Victory Lane. Let me tell you, Chevy brought it tonight. They had all the horsepower in the world. The reliability, good fuel mileage. They just came out with the C8 Corvette. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I really want to buy one. So thanks to Team Chevy for all their work. They do a great job. Hitachi having them on board. I think we've got 3 wins with Hitachi this year. So really pumped for those guys. They've been such great supporters of Team Penske. But this is a team effort. You saw all 3 cars were fast tonight, and that's what it takes. You got to have all 3 of us pushing each other. You know, I was a little down yesterday. I felt like we had the pole car, and we didn't get it right. And today, we got it right. That's why I was so focused last night to make sure that we got today right.
Watch the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio, Sunday, July 28th at 3 p.m. on NBC.